this is as real as it gets.
Hey, this is Marcia Prince, IFBB Bikini Pro and Guest Berry Nutrition spokesmodel, and you are listening to the UCW radio show, In Your Face.
The number you have reached, 911, has been changed to a non-published number.
You're listening to UCW Radio.
In your face.
Give it to me, baby.
All right, welcome to the UCW radio show, and we're back with you with another great guest. Our next guest, has done everything from, writing music, or actually having his music showcased with a presidential candidate, to doing having the music showcase on ESPN and various other television programs. Look, in the world of entertainment, you have talented people that never get anywhere because they don't have a plan of action. And then you have talented people that you see all the time because they have a plan of action and they actually have grown to be household names. And our next guest is definitely going to be one of those people that will become a household name. He's been around, and he's definitely a pay-it-forward type of guy. So without further ado, please join me in welcoming recording artist Louie Bello. All right, Louie Bello, welcome to the UCW radio show. How are you?
I'm doing good, doing really good. Thanks for having me.
Good. You're coming straight from Boston, Beantown.
That's right, the Bean over here.
Yeah.
Cold weather right now.
Yeah, a little chilly out there, but you have a lot of hot stuff going on with your career and just in life. But for the benefit of our listeners, let's do this. Let's start at the beginning. You're in the world of music, and
yes.
And I mean, how did you get involved in that? And just, I want our listeners to follow this because your story's very interesting. And when they get to know more about you, you're going to gain some new fans. I'm sure of it.
Yeah, I appreciate it. It's I actually started a little late as far as the career-wise, but my father was in a 9-piece horn band growing up, and he actually used to open up for groups like Tower of Power in Chicago whenever they came to Boston. And so I grew up when I was around bands and rehearsals, and always used to make us listen to records, me and my sisters, all the time. We always had dance parties, every Sunday and Saturday, and so I grew up with that music around me and in me. And it wasn't until I was probably like 14 that I actually started to decide, this is kind of fun to do this on my own, and started hanging out with the guys in the corners, kind of cliche, but we used to do that in Boston, and singing with my buddies and trying to do harmonies and doing little talent shows. And finally one day I decided I'm going to start writing and doing my own stuff, and here I am many years later and still doing it, enjoying it, having a fun time.
Right, but you're traveling all over the country as well, doing your thing.
I am, yes, yeah. I am. We this summer was really cool. We had some shows in Vegas, Orlando, New York. I was in Philly, and it was really fun. We were promoting my new record, my Chasing Rainbows record, and it's been a blast just meeting new people from different areas of the country, and just trying to see what they like about my music, and hearing different stories that I could actually add into my songs when I create. So it's been a blast.
Yeah, and you do a lot of charity work too, from what I understand.
Yeah, we as a few different charities we work with here. I teach in the Boston Public Schools sometimes, and we got involved with Peace Boston. There's a lot of young kids getting killed, I'm sure, around the country by gun violence and gangs and things like that. And myself and my sister, growing up in Boston, the city, we really got attracted to this cause called Peace Boston. And one of my sister's students at her school got murdered about 5 years ago. He was only 10 years old.
Wow.
And that really kind of locked us into trying to do something, to bring awareness. So we've been involved probably for the past 4 or 5 years. It's a really, really good cause, a lot of mothers without their sons, and it's pretty powerful, when you get around these people and how strong they are to have lost their sons and to try to do something positive with this, an awful thing like that.
Well, I mean, you have to, when something like that, and it is sad when a child leaves before the parent, but when you're dealing with that, you have a choice. Either you're going to lay down and give up or hide in a corner, or you're going to stand up and do something. And you know what? Those are some strong women standing up and doing that. And I think that's fantastic.
Absolutely.
I think that's fantastic stuff. And it's good that
Very
you're
inspiring.
Yeah, and it's good that you're involved with that because they need it. And just getting the exposure for what is happening there is helping them. You going out there and you're traveling around, you're on radio, you're on this show, you're doing things, is bringing attention to the organizations that you're working with. So I commend you, and I
appreciate it.
on that because it's fantastic. Now, going back, you've been all over the place. You've been not only performing, but you've been writing, and you wrote music for some, I'm going to say, some interesting people, from presidential candidates to top recording artists. Let's talk about that for a little bit.
Yeah, well, it's funny. Presidential candidates, Bill Richardson, who was running against Obama on his first, the first time he was running for president for the Democratic Party. I met him through a friend of mine, and they invited me to a party they were having. I think this was 5 years ago, and met him and sat down and got to know this guy. And he was the governor of New Mexico at the time, and just a great guy, Latino. Just really it connected with everything that was happening around here in Boston and the cities, and he really just an interesting guy, and he'd done so much. During his time that he worked for the government and as being governor, and we got to talking about music, and he said, I need a campaign song. He said Obama's got these these big campaign songs going on. We need something hip. So myself and one of my producers, Malik Williams, we got together and we came up with a song for him. We ended up using the song during his campaign until unfortunately he dropped out and endorsed Obama. But it was a really fun ride while we did that, hearing the song played in his commercials, and it was cool to be part of that political process on an entertainment side.
Yeah, how many people get to do that, really, if you think about it?
Yeah, I've never met anybody that was that close to becoming, the leader of our country. So it was, even now, it's really cool because if he had become president, it's like I sat and had lunch with him, and it's like the thought of that just was really inspiring while we were working on the song.
Well, I mean, it also shows you, how the impact that entertainment can have on even politics. With social media entertainment, you're out there and you're connecting with the people. So the impact is pretty great from what I've seen. And with what you're doing, the songwriting, a lot of people, when you have artists that are writing for other artists, you don't hear about them. They're in the shadows. Okay, right. But then later on, it comes out like, oh my God, you wrote songs for this one, for that one, and because you decided to go and put yourself out in the front line, and that's what you're doing right now. You're putting yourself on the front line because you've written songs from what I'm looking at for Brooke Hogan, Danity Kane, and a whole host of others.
Yeah, I worked with Arby O'Day from Danity Kane right after at the tail end of when they I think they kicked her off the show as part of the whole Puffy thing when Puff Daddy was running it, and we were shooting a movie. We were shooting a pilot. I had actually written a TV pilot with a gentleman named Nick Verano, who was a big Italian businessman in Boston, restaurant owner, and we were doing this pilot, and a friend of ours invited Aubrey to be part of the pilot we were shooting, and we talked on set, and I told her how much I loved her singing and all that, and before you know it, we're at the studio and writing a couple songs, and a month later she's back and we're writing more songs, and she's trying to get her own deals, and that's how I kind of met her, and she never unfortunately got to put out the songs because of the situations with the label and what she was going through at the time. But great person, great connection, and of course, she was on The Apprentice. I think it was last year or the year before, so she's still doing her thing. But it opened up doors for me to meet other people, which is what I'm all about. The networking is so important.
Right. Well, you have to, because if you're not out there and speaking to people, you're not marketing yourself and you're not opening up doors for yourself. So, that's fantastic that you're doing that. What was the deal with Susanna? How'd you link up with that deal?
Susanna, she actually was signed to a label. A friend of mine has a label that I actually went to high school with, and he ended up starting a label. He had it was a subsidiary label under Universal Records. I'm not sure if he's still with them, but he was based out of Boston. And I wrote a lot of songs for him and his artists. And she was one of the artists, and we got in the studio, and she came down one weekend and wrote a bunch of songs, and she ended up using one. And, it's just one of those things, like in the writing world, you write for as many people as you can and hope that one of them pops. And, it's just it's a fun game to play, but you meet interesting people, really.
But the stuff you did with Brooke Hogan, did that come to fruition?
No, the stuff with Brooke Hogan didn't. I worked with a company out of Lowell, Massachusetts, up here and right near Boston, and they did a ton of stuff with Brooke. They worked on her album, and I did 2 songs that she covered, and they didn't end up using them for the album, but made a great connection with her through the process that led to some other opportunities. So it was a fun learning experience because they used a lot of stuff from her TV show, which, as we all know, ultimately got canceled.
Yeah, we don't want to see you in the ring, okay? Don't do that.
No, I'm not going to the ring.
I'll have to protest that one.
I'm not going to the ring. What's funny is I did the Cage Effects, the national anthem. Right. And when I was doing it that day, it was the day that we met, I think. And with the announcer, I'm walking in the ring, and the announcer's like, up next is Louie Bello. He's going to be fighting in the left. And I said, what? I looked at him. I said, no way, man.
Yeah, he's a jokester, but you don't want to get involved in that stuff. You have to preserve your looks and your voice for the greater good of mankind.
Yeah, I'm a lover. I'm not a fighter.
There you go. Now you've done a lot of stuff, and look, your dad's in show business, your sister's in show business, you're in show business. Let me ask you this. Now you have a lot of up and coming or aspiring. Let's just say aspiring, because I don't know if they're up and coming, but aspiring music artists. They're in, it may be rock, maybe this, maybe that, and they're trying to make headway into this business. It's not an easy business. It's not an easy business to make it in. Now, you have people that are doing this for 20 years and they get nowhere.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it happens, but you're making headway. Now, what makes the difference, between, someone succeeding and someone never even getting their foot in the door?
I think a big thing is having a business plan. And I think that's one thing that I've learned is that when you're in music, obviously you start off because you love music, but if you want to have a career, it's like any business. You open up a business, you have to have a plan. You have to have a marketing plan. You have to have something that sets yourself apart. And a lot of artists just make music, but they don't know how to market themselves. Mm-hmm. And even when they do market themselves, a lot of times people do it wrong. Mm-hmm. And they spend their money in the wrong places, and they don't have that focus. So my big thing to artists that I speak to, because I'm still myself, still trying to break through that top echelon, but I'm moving. I'm moving because I've made a plan. And I said, this is where I want to be by next year, and these are the little steps that I'm going to take. And every step I take is positive in the right direction, even if it's small, as long as you're going forward.
Well, let me say this about you. You say that you're trying to break into, that upper echelon. The reality is that you're doing, as you said, you're doing these little things. But these little things from ESPN, CBS, ABC, you're doing things that are big for most people. But you have your business plan. I'm sure you have a 5, 10, maybe a 20-year business plan. To make things happen. But you're actually executing on every move that you have on paper.
Yeah, I've been lucky enough to make those opportunities work. So, some of them don't, some of them do. But yeah, the ESPN documentary Push, I got on board. I wrote the title track for that, and they actually renamed it was called Madison vs. Madison, which was a basketball documentary. And when they heard my song Push, they actually renamed the movie to Push, which was huge for me because it was just going to be a part of the movie, and now it became the title of the movie. And that gives me it gives me a lot of ammunition to go into the next meeting or the next opportunity. And once ESPN picked it up, I've been lucky too, so the business plan also comes with luck, but you don't get that luck unless you're doing things. And I think that's what people, they make mistakes by just sitting around, you make a record and sit back. You just got to network.
Well, yeah, but it has to do with you as a person too, because I guarantee you, ESPN would not go and change the title of one of their segments if just because the music's good. I'm sure they found out about you and they said, all right, you're good, and we can use your music. And they have I guess a broad vision of you as a person and you as the artist and the song, and then they allow it to happen, because I don't think they would just let that happen if somebody was not a decent person, I'm going to say.
I appreciate that. No, I appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, it's just I try to be. I'm straightforward with everybody. I learned that from my dad a long time ago. My mother too. Just being honest and straightforward, especially in this business. It's hard, but if you're honest right up front, you can weed out the people that don't belong in your plan, and and the ones that can help you, they see through that. So you're right. Yeah, I mean, it's just I am who I am, and it does help me. It definitely does help me being sincere.
Yeah, but you got to be, in life. If you're real, then real things are going to happen, and what you're doing and the plan that you're looking to execute can happen with a solid foundation. Because without that foundation, what do you have? You're working with quicksand, and that's what I notice at a lot of these artists that are aspiring. They play music or they sing. Okay. Whoop-de-doo, you have a million other people singing and playing music. What makes you different?
Right.
And a lot of people fail to see that. They think that just by singing or playing music, that's going to get them to the end of the line, but they'll be home, not doing what they should be doing. And getting out there, they'll be popping popcorn watching you on TV.
Yeah. No, it's true. It's funny because I actually 2 seasons ago I tried out for The Voice, and I made it out to California. It was like I made it top 180 out of like 100,000 people to try it out, which was like amazing to get out there. And as I was out there, there was a lot of talent out there, but there's a lot of people that haven't even recorded songs. They had people out there that just first time like doing anything like this. So I was excited. I thought I had a good shot, but as I went through, I realized that how much of a business, especially television, is when it comes to entertainment. And it's all a plan. They have a plan of who they're going to pick, what type of people they're going to pick. So it doesn't, like you said, you can be playing music in your house, you can be, making a CD, but if you don't have something that they like that they can market or somebody can market, then sometimes you're out of luck.
Well, the bottom line is it comes down to the bottom line, and if you're not if you're not going to make people money, then they're not going to be interested in you, and they need to be able to own you, and that's what it comes down to, owning. And I'm just calling a spade. When you're on a show like that, you sign away. I mean, some people, they become big stars, which is great. Some people, that already have things going on, they go on a show like that. The show or the people behind it, they don't want you because you already have things going on. They want someone raw that they can develop, build up, and they'll make a hefty profit on. So it is a business that I get. You know. But again, you've been doing this stuff, and you were nominated recently for the Boston Music Awards. It was the Pop R&B Act of the Year.
Pop R&B Act of the Year.
Look, I got that right. I was looking. Am I getting that right?
Well, in Boston, it'd be the R&B. R&B.
Yeah, don't go to the bar, and don't drive your car there for sure.
Exactly. It'd be wicked far to get there.
Yeah, there you go, wicked far. So you got this stuff going on with the Boston Music Awards, and you're going against some stiff competition.
Yes. Okay. Very stiff. I got Carmen. We got Gentleman Hall. Carmen's, I don't know if people know Carmen. They created an award for them at the Billboard last year because of their use of technology to become famous, and they're now like top 16 on the Billboard charts. Gentleman Hall has been a big indie group that broke through on MTV a couple of years ago and traveled the world. And so I got some groups like that I'm up against, but I'm honored to be up against like these major players. And it's funny because I've known all these guys before they became major players, so it's good to see them all making it and to be with them. And hopefully, as the year progresses, my status will move up and somebody will be saying that about me maybe next year.
I have no doubt that that's going to wind up happening. That's why I have you on the show, because I know it's just a matter of time before you're going to be on top of the mountain with what you're doing. You're talented. As I said, your personality and how you are and how you carry yourself, tells a lot to me. So again, I don't think that's going to be a problem. You're welcome. I don't think that's going to be a problem with you getting to where you need to go. You're on your way. You're on your way. You from the writing of the songs and doing this stuff. But you're also you mentioned a TV pilot that you did.
Yeah.
What happened with that?
Well, it was funny because it was a really, really cool concept. It was a cooking show. It was like a reality show about a cooking show, but it was like being filmed. So the show was about the filming of this reality show, and basically it was about two competing restaurants in the North End, two Italian restaurants, and one guy wanted to be better than the other. And it had a little comedy in it, had a little action in it. We actually had Vincent Pastore from The Sopranos. I got to act across the table from him, which was kind of scary at first because I watched The Sopranos all the time. And then
he didn't slap you?
And I was waiting for him. He looked at me. We were doing rehearsal, and he looked at me kind of like, who the hell is this kid? And I was trying to keep a straight face because I don't know if he was messing with me or being serious. So it was a really cool experience, especially being part of the writing team in creating it. And we had at the time, it's like anything else. We had a lot of interest from the Food Network and a couple other places, and it didn't work. There's hundreds of pilots shot every year, and a couple get picked up. So, it was a fun experience. Met a lot of people, gained a lot of experience writing, especially script writing, which I hadn't done much of. And so it was just another thing I put in the history of me as a person and as a singer, actor, entertainer, and it's definitely been fun.
Well, you're looking at every avenue to market yourself and get yourself out there, and you're not afraid of trying new things.
No, definitely not.
Yeah.
Definitely not.
Yeah, but that's good because look, you learn you learn a little bit about script writing, which gives you another thing to put on your resume, and again, all these things put together it's another tile in your career as you're going forward, because I know that you're going to probably roundabout come back around to doing some TV and film and things like that, because as far as a well-rounded entertainer, it's beyond music for you.
It is, yeah, absolutely. I enjoy the most fun I actually have, besides writing the song, is actually producing the videos. All my videos that you see, I like executive produce those. Get from getting the sets ready to getting the right directors to getting the cast. I mean, I love that hands-on stuff. So it's really fun putting the pieces and the storylines together. So I definitely see myself, if not behind the camera, but just behind the people that are behind the camera and making sure everything's right, someday. So I definitely get a kick out of that.
No, I mean, learning, it's interesting, but learning the what's happening behind the scenes, actually is gonna help you a lot when you're in front of the camera. I speak to a lot of actors, directors, producers, and the reality is, if you are well-rounded and you learn about the directing and the camera angles and how the stage is set, who does what, so on and so forth. When you're in front of that camera, you're doing a better job because you're making the director's job easier because you know exactly where you need to be for this lighting, the sound here, this, that. You know where everything is situated.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
No, you're right. I've been studying, some of these actors, like, the guy Jon Favreau.
Yeah.
The producer. I didn't know. Yeah, I didn't know that he directs and produces a ton of movies, but I only used to know him from all the stuff he acted in, from the stuff with, all the comedies he did to Iron Man. But he acts and produces. He executive produced that new show Revolution on NBC, and I didn't know that till today. I was watching a clip and I seen his name, executive producer, and I'm like, see, this is the stuff that I pick up, and I'm like, I got to get on point with all this because these guys are just going in every aspect of the business so they can be successful.
Well, and the thing is, I'm gonna use the word business, and that's exactly what this is. This is a business. You can love what you do, which you should love what you do, because then it's not work if you love it. However, if you treat it as a business, you're going to actually be able to do more, and your longevity is going to be there as opposed to being a flash in a pan. And I want everyone to hold on to that thought because we're going to take a quick break and we're going to be back on the UCW radio show with recording artist Louie Bello.
My last time on ya, yeah, you're worth more than gold. I'll do anything for ya, yeah, baby, you're my whole world. From the first time I saw you, I knew together we'd grow old. And tonight I wanna show how much I appreciate you. Ooh, you're the best, you're my number one. Baby girl, you're my queen. No other girl underneath the sun does what you do to me. I wanna love you, love you, love you, love you, love you for the rest of my life. Tonight I'm gonna make you shine. I'll take you on vacation, anywhere you wanna go, without hesitation. 'Cause baby, you're my girl, like pain medication. Send me out this world, and tonight I wanna show how much I appreciate you. Ooh, you're the best, you're my number one. Baby girl, you're my queen. No other girl underneath the sun does what you do to me. I wanna love you, love you, love you, love you, love you for the rest of my life. Tonight I'm gonna make you shine. I'ma love you from Monday through Friday, girl. I'ma love you on the weekends, no matter where we go. From the time we make babies till the time they go to college, oh yeah. For life, I'm gonna make you shine, oh yeah, yeah. Back in the day since I was young, I always loved you, girl. Back in the day since I was young, I always loved you. Back in the day since I was young, I always loved you, girl. And tonight, I'm gonna make you shine, oh yeah. The best, you my number one. Baby girl, you're my queen. Oh yeah. Other girl underneath the sun does what you do to me. I wanna love you, love you, love you, love you, love you for the rest of my life. Tonight I'm gonna make you shine, yeah. Oh, the best, you my number one. Baby girl, you're my queen. No other girl underneath the sun does
everybody. This is Louis Bello, and you've been listening to my new single, You the Best. You can get this at louisbello.com or on iTunes.
DDP Yoga. It ain't your mama's yoga.
Over the last 12 years, I developed this amazing program I now call DDP Yoga, specifically to strengthen and heal my own body. It's the only reason I was able to wrestle in the ring well over 15 years and 3 world championships. And now, I want to bring this amazing workout to you, and it will change the way you think about the word yoga. DDP Yoga is all about zero impact, kick-ass cardio, increased flexibility, and core strength conditioning. It's like nothing you have ever seen or done before.
DDP Yoga. It ain't your mama's yoga.
All right, welcome back to the UCW Radio Show, and we're here with our special guest, recording artist Louie Bello. We just heard one of his songs, and Louie, you are definitely a pay it forward type of guy.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So now, this question I have for you. Okay, now how nervous were you when you sang the national anthem at the New York Mets Boston Red Sox game? Let's talk about that one.
That was. I would tell you, I was so nervous at the Red Sox game more than the Mets game. At the Red Sox game was what happened is my sister sang the anthem and I sang God Bless America in the 7th inning. So she lucked out and got to do her thing right away and was all done. I had to wait 7 innings till the 7-inning stretch in the runway that leads up to the bullpen at Fenway Park. So, and it was that was nerve-wracking, very nerve-wracking. But once I get out there, people in general are really great because once you get out there and everybody's looking at you, start singing, they start clapping at the end. I find people that enjoy singing or a good song or just somebody that's got the guts to go up there. I find that people really rally around that, and I got that energy. But man, before I got up there, it was like I felt like I was going to throw up.
No, I can imagine. And you're going to answer this question for me though. All right, there's been a lot of controversy with singers at sporting events. They're singing. Some people say they're lip syncing. Some people say they're doing it live. I don't know. I'm not a singer. I'm not out there doing it. So maybe you can shed some light on that since you've been there.
As far as the Red Sox and the Mets, we sang live.
Okay.
I think what happens is there's a delay in the stadium because it's so big. And sometimes, like especially when we were singing, I would sing the first line, and halfway through that first line, those first couple words, you would hear then it come out the speakers at the end where the scoreboard was. It would bounce off. So it was such a big place that there was like a millisecond time delay. And so I think sometimes that might throw people off when they're singing and when you're watching them sing. But as far as I know, most people do it live. But I have heard of some people lip syncing it.
Okay,
it's a huge event.
But your experience, what you've done, and I mean that kind of makes a lot of sense because if you're singing, you have a big stadium there. That little delay, it's like you're watching a Chinese movie, the kung fu movies.
Absolutely, absolutely, yeah.
It's like
it is.
Like the lips are off with the voice, and
exactly.
Oh
it's like watching a good karate movie.
Yeah, exactly. That's hilarious. Look, it's funny. People call you the king of hustle. Yeah. Okay, where'd that come from? Let's talk about that for a second.
That came from, I was actually working with a group. I went to school for graphic design. I went to Northeastern.
Right.
And so my main studied art is actually art and design, and my music is my learned art, self-learned and in the street and stuff. So I was doing graphic design work, covers, websites, whatever I could do to make money to, for the career and stuff. So I was with a group of kids and I was doing their rap stuff and they found out I sang too and, we got into it and the kids like, dude, you're like the king of hustle. You do everything. You're out there cutting lawns for people, your landscape company, you're out there teaching, you're doing CDs for people and you're singing, and So I stuck that on my bio because it always stuck with me, the King of Hustle. You know?
That's a good tagline for sure, you know.
Yeah.
And, you know, I'm glad you mentioned that, what the other things that you do, because, you know, again, we talked about it earlier. I don't care if you're singing, acting, and the entertainment business itself is not easy. It's not easy. It's a battle, and you have to, you know, I find it funny how some people think, like, oh, I'm going to go to Hollywood and I'm going to be a star in a week. And but meanwhile, nothing happens. You have to put your time in. You have to be willing to do what you need to do to survive until that happens. If you believe in yourself, you're going to do it. But you have to do things to make it happen. You know, it's not people. It's like people looking at one of those visionary boards that, you know, they look and they put something on. They're like, oh God, it's going to happen. I'm going to be a big star. Yeah. You got to work towards it.
Yeah. Somebody told me that once. They were like, all right, you got to get a picture of the house that you want and the car that you want and just put it up on your wall and every day look at that thing and it's going to happen. And I'm like, dude, what are you talking about?
Yeah, I mean, it's good to have visual. You know, I personally, if I want to do something like that, I'll drive by the house and say, yeah, that'll happen. You know, but you have to.
You have to do it.
Yeah, you have to do it. You have to do something to make it happen. Too many people think it's just going to automatically happen, and that's like fantasy world. You know, you need to do things to make it happen. It's not easy, and you'll come across little potholes here and a hill there. You know, but these are obstacles only if you want them to be. You know, so
absolutely, that's true because you only lose if you quit.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And that's what I feel, because no matter what happens with my career, and this is just an honest thing for me, I have had such good journey, you know, and I want to get to the end of that journey, but I've had such a good time. I mean, I've had really bad times, but even in those bad times, I've had great experiences. So I've taken those experiences and said, how many people get to do this, or play here, or, you know, sing at the Apollo Theater, or do things that, like, not everybody gets to do. So I look at that, I'm blessed to have those opportunities and just hopefully build those opportunities to something greater. But either way, I mean, I'm enjoying doing what I love to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a great attitude, and I'm thinking you're getting that from your parents, because, you know,
absolutely.
Yeah, because I mean, so many people get jaded, and they're rah rah rah. This didn't happen for me. Rah rah rah. I blame the world. I blame everybody. Blame your damn self, but take responsibility for your actions, and either you enjoy the journey or not. You're looking at, you know, the positive end of things, even in a bad situation.
Yeah, my mother's like that. My mother's really big on being positive with everybody. Sometimes a little too much, but we joke with her about it. But she definitely gave that to me, and my father instilled, you know, the perseverance in me to keep going and just kind of, you know, bad stuff happens, you know, and sometimes you lose.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I've lost a lot, you know, financially, you know, family-wise, but, you know, good things come out of those, you know, and I got a beautiful 9-year-old daughter who I want to show her how, you know, following through your dreams, you know, you can achieve a lot, you know, and, you know, success is what you want success to be, not what the next guy says it's supposed to be, and I think that's so important.
Oh, yeah, that's very important, and, I mean, everyone's personal success is different. Someone may, you know, find success in just living an average life, and they're happy. If that's what you want and you made it, you know, God bless you. You're happy, you know.
Right.
But when you're looking to attain something a little greater, and I give kudos to your mama and to your and to your papa, because, you know, I think the parents, they have to trickle down that drive. And for those that don't have that, you know, you kind of have to look at someone that's doing it, get inspired. Like, look at someone like yourself that you're fighting to get to where you need to get to, but you're smiling along the way. You're enjoying the journey. You know,
absolutely.
I mean, how many people get to sing the national anthem at a major sporting event? You know, have a documentary named after their song on ESPN. You know, have their song featured on a segment, or I think it was a show on ABC, right? Lincoln Heights.
Yeah, Lincoln Heights, yeah, a couple times I used it. It's pretty cool.
I mean, and now you're being nominated for Boston Grammy, and this is you're just getting warmed up.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I do. I know. I feel like that. I feel like it's it's starting to get there. It's all coming together.
Well, you're doing it, and I think the example you're going to set for your daughter is fantastic. Okay, because she's going to see you make it from where you are or where you've been to where you're going to be. But you're the type of person that you'll make it, but you'll also pay it forward.
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely got that from my mother as well since I was a kid, and I've carried that over. My grandfather was very into that too. He's always helping people, and I just do stuff now that I don't realize why I do it, but it's definitely, you're right. It's how you grew up a lot of the times, and I was around it. So it makes sense to me to be nice to people. It makes sense to help somebody out because you never know, and just there's always somebody worse off than you. I always look at it like that.
Of course, and look, I'm the same way, and I get that from my mother, just going out and you're doing something, you're doing something not to get anything in return. You're doing it because it's the right thing to do.
Absolutely.
And if you attain success, you pay it forward if you can. Unfortunately, some people take advantage of that, but there's nothing you can do about that.
Exactly. Yeah, I've seen that. I've had that too.
Yeah. But then you smile, you just shrug it off, and you just keep moving forward because your success is going to outshine any negativity that transpired, or is going to transpire in your life. So you just keep plugging along. Now, when is the Boston Grammys? When's that scheduled for?
That's December 2nd.
December 2nd. Is that
2nd.
That's happening where?
It's at the Liberty Hotel in Boston, which is a really nice venue. It's actually the old jail. It used to be a jail for like 100 years, and they turned it into a luxury hotel. It's pretty cool.
Oh, man, that place must be haunted.
I haven't never stayed there. I'm not going to test it out. But
man.
They still got the bars and a lot of the bars and some of the spots, the original brickwork and stairwells. It's pretty cool. It's like a museum / hotel, or upscale hotel.
Yeah. I'll leave someone else to stay there, not myself.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? Now I'm intrigued. Wait a second. Maybe I will. I don't know.
I'm telling you, probably should try it one night. Let me know.
Yeah, I'll let you know how that works out.
Yeah, if it works out okay, maybe I'll rent the room next year.
Yeah, there you go. So what else do you have going on in your life, beyond music? What else do you have going on?
Well, I teach at Boston Public Schools. I teach music. I'm the coordinator of the vocal and music department at an elementary school in Boston. So that takes a good chunk of my my days up. It's really fun because I get to coordinate. We actually have Berkeley School of Music comes in with my students, and it's really fun to work with these kids, all inner city kids, and so that takes up a lot of my time other than my daughter and family and stuff like that. And other than that, it's just basically working on projects, and my big free time thing is video games. Me and my daughter go play video games at Dave & Buster's for hours. That's how we relax.
Oh, but that's quality time, with your kid, because when she's older, she's gonna say, "Yeah, me and Daddy used to do this, or me and Daddy used to do that." And there's nothing greater than having, and again, for those things, I call those life tiles. You have those life tiles in your world where, this is what you did with your kid, this is what happened here, this is what happened there, and that whole tapestry just is the story of your life. So I think that's great, and that's something that's going to trickle down to her because she's going to see everything you're doing, and she's going to want to live up to what she expects you to live up to.
No, I appreciate that. Yeah, it's a good way to look at it. Somebody told me something a while ago, because I used to think, running back from music, I wasn't able to spend as much time sometimes with her when she was younger, and I used to get down because, you get your kid and, you want to teach her and be with her every minute, and I ended up getting divorced in the middle of my music stuff, and, so I didn't get to spend much time, and somebody said to me, like you were just saying, it's the little times, so, we used to drive back and forth in the car and sing songs to each other, and even though it was a 20-minute ride, I started realizing, that's a fun 20 minutes that she'll always remember. and it took me a long time, but I'm kind of starting to get it now.
Yeah, but she'll remember you. But you remember, and those are the things you look back at. Like, yeah, remember when we walked down the block? We just walked down the block. I walked you to school, but this is what I remember. And she'll remember that too. That I do. I will tell you that she will remember that. And hopefully when she gets older and she has your grandchildren, that she'll do the same for them.
Absolutely, that'd be awesome.
But we're not thinking that far ahead, because that's like,
no.
I don't want your mind all over the place right now, because you're gonna start getting stressed out. Like, holy crap, no, I can't have that. No,
shit, I'm getting old. Grandchildren, what?
Well, no, baby. Beyond that, you're like, oh my gosh, she has to go through the dating thing, and
oh God, yeah, no, I'm not. Yeah, that's scary.
Yeah, it's too much stress. Too much stress.
I got my shotgun ready.
Yeah, exactly. And you also have your father there, so he can jump in and do stuff. And
exactly.
Your sister, I'm sure she's no slacker. She'll get all Boston on everyone.
Oh yeah, she's great. She's crazy. She's the next one coming up. She's all over the place. Lisa, I think she was just out in L.A. a couple weeks ago.
Is that your youngest sister, or is she?
She's my youngest. Yeah, I have two sisters.
Okay.
One little younger than me, and then the youngest is Lisa, who's the one who's the singer.
Okay,
so she's a little socialite. She hangs out with all like the Clippers' wives and the Celtics' wives, and so she goes to L.A. and hangs out and parties. She's funny. I don't know how she gets in, but she has like this kind of personality like me. She network and just start hanging out with people randomly. And she'll call me like, yeah.
You know how she gets in? You know how she gets in? She said, "Oh, no, I'm Louis Bello's sister." Oh yeah, come right in. Come right in.
Exactly. Yeah, right. I'm gonna have to start charging her for that stuff.
Yeah, I know. She can start inviting you. That'd be nice.
Yeah, you know what? I haven't gotten an invite yet, so I think next time she's in LA, I'm gonna have to get get an invite.
Yeah, you're gonna have to. But that's great, because she's out there hustling, and she gets pushed by you. You get pushed by her, and that's a great family business.
It is. It is. We just had a show 2 nights ago, night before Thanksgiving, and we hadn't played together in a long time, and it was good to be back on stage with her, because we do a lot of live shows together in the past, and we took a break because she's been pushing herself and I've been pushing myself. But it's good to see that, because then it kind of reminds me to go talk, about what she's doing and kind of get on her and see if I can help her. And so it's a good bonding time with us.
Well, I think that's fantastic stuff. Now, what I want you to do, if you can do this, because I think your story is pretty cool, and what you're doing is amazing. And I know like anything, we're gonna speak in a year, and you're gonna be on top of the mountain. You're gonna say, "Yeah, I think I know you, but I don't remember."
Never. Never. I'll be the last person on that. So
yeah,
I'll get you the first exclusive interview when I make it to the top.
There you go. Well, you know what? Right now, it's fantastic here, and I know that a lot of doors are going to open up for you, and you're going to be doing a lot of great things. What makes me feel good about you succeeding is your mindset, and I knew I kind of got that vibe when you and I met face to face. So, you're going to pay it forward. You're going to open up doors for people that actually want to succeed in what you're doing, because, when someone builds up and they open up those doors, you have these people that are talented, and all they need is the opportunity. So, you're going to get to where you're going to get to, and you're going to open up those doors for the worthy ones, not the people that are home, watching TV, playing some music in their basement and hoping that the world's going to open up for them. It doesn't work that way. You have to have something further there for you to make it happen. So you're going to be opening up those doors. I have no doubt about it.
Yeah, and I'll make that promise. I will do that.
Good. We're going to hold you to it now. We're going to hold you to it.
I know you will.
Yeah.
I know. It's
So,
recorded.
Yeah, exactly. So now, why don't you let us know, let our listeners know how they can follow your career, because you look, your light's getting brighter and brighter, and every day, every week that goes by, your career is moving further and further up. Let us know how they can follow you. They can find out more about you, and your social media, everything else.
Okay, so my Twitter is @Louie Bello, which is LouiEbello. My website is louisbello.com. and my Facebook is Louie Bello Music. So everything's pretty much Louie Bello all around. And you guys can follow everything I got. I have an app for your iPhone or your Android, a Louie Bello app, which you can purchase on louisbello.com. There's a little app symbol there. You can click that, and if you have an Android or iPhone, and that way you can actually get updates on news, current events, new songs, exclusive videos. So the app is pretty cool, and it's free. So those are a few ways that you can, pretty much every way you can get a hold of me.
Okay, so they can go on your site, they can download the app for the iPhone or the Android. It's not going to cost them anything to do, but they'll have all the updates with your career and everything that's going on.
Absolutely, it's pretty cool how they did it for me. And every time I update something, it'll pop right up on the phone or a notification if I'm in your town or if I have a last-minute show or anything that's going on in my career, new songs. It'll be right on that app for you to listen to and check out.
Oh, I think that's some great stuff. Technology, keeping in touch,
awesome.
Keeping in touch with your fans. That's the way to go. Yeah. All right, so now with let's just end this with the Boston Music Awards. Is going on December 2nd, right?
Yes.
Okay. Now, how does the voting work for that?
Well, the voting there was 2 weeks of voting. It ended last week, the voting session. But what happens is they then take the votes, and there's another criteria, which is the secret criteria, which we don't know about. And they take the votes and weigh it with maybe your achievements for the year and against the other artists. So, it's a toss-up. Like I said, I'm happy to be nominated and, my name in that circle. But obviously I'd love to win it, being from Boston, because some of these other acts, not really Boston people. They've come here, for Berkeley and gone to school here and stuff, so they're half Boston people. But it'd be nice to win it for the hometown. Well, you win it for the hometown. I'm sure. Yeah. I have no doubt that you're gonna come out on top with this. Now, with the voting, that's a voting of your peers, right? Voting of your fans. Oh, your actually. Fans. Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, initially, the voting to get on the ballot is from your peers. So they pick the nominees from your peers in the music business and entertainment business around here. And then once that happens, they give you a couple weeks to get your fans and to kind of show your fan support and see how many people actually support you. And there's 2 weeks to vote. Many people can vote, and then they close the voting, and then they look at them and then decide who's, pretty much who's got that support going on. Oh, so I think you're a shoo-in. I like it. I appreciate it. I like it. Too bad we didn't do the show before then. We could. I know. The way they do it is weird. They spring it on the artists like last minute about the voting, because the ballots come out, and it's kind of like you find out very last minute, and they say, okay, 2 weeks from now, boom, and it's like, they don't give you much time. I think they're really trying to test your fan activity and how much you can get out. Well, I think you're doing a fantastic job, Louie, and I think that, we're going to see a lot more of you, not only, on the radio, but in TV, film, and that type of stuff, because you're well-rounded, as I said earlier, and I see a lot of great things happening for you and your career, and I wish you luck with the Boston Music Awards. I want to hear what happens, so you have to get back to me and let me know, when you win, and let's get a picture of that. So that'll be pretty cool. Okay, but I do thank you for coming on the show. And anytime. I thank you, too. It's a great opportunity you gave me, and I really appreciate it. Well, I when I bring people on the show, is for a reason. Is, first, you're a good person. Second, you have a lot of things going on. And third, someone's going to get inspired, or more than someone. Of a lot of someone's will get inspired by your story, and that's what this show is about. So I thank you for coming on and inspiring whoever's listening, and we're going to have you back on, within the next few months. We'll have you back on to get an update on your career and stuff, and see where Louie Bello winds up. Because I think that, as I said, you're just stretching, you're warming up, and your career is going to get brighter and brighter, my friend. I'll be there. You just let me know. I'll be back on. Excellent.
Thank you so much.
Initiating shutdown sequence.
You're listening to UCW Radio. In your face.
What is your major malfunction?
So let it be written. So let it be done.
Ladies and gentlemen, my mother thanks you, my father thanks you, my sister thanks you, and I thank you.